Hello there, it's Jay here from Jay's Vintage Junk, and today, I apologise, it's another car boots pickup video. But what I'm actually really doing is I'm just trying out this camera. My mate Andy over at Vintage Electronics Repairs given me another video camera. Now it's not quite as high resolution as the one that I was using, but it's a Canon, and Canon lenses are actually really good. And with the light issues I seem to be having, my videos are dark and people are complaining that the image isn't looking good. I'm just really experimenting, see if this camera is actually going to give us something that's a little bit better actually for filming and what have you. Actually, this is going to be a good video to make, to actually test the camera out, because I want to like zoom in on a few things that I've bought and do some fine stuff. This seems to have quite a decent zoom on it, and even better is it has a remote control with it, so I can actually adjust and zoom it without having to fiddle about with the camera. It also has an AV out on it, which is really nice, because it means I've got a little monitor at the side of me here. Instead of having to keep looking over at the viewfinder to see whatever I'm playing about with is in shot, I can actually just glance over at a 9-inch monitor I've got in the corner just out of shot here, which should make like setting frames up and setting videos up a little bit nicer. So we're going to play with it. Anyway, on to the subject of this video. Yes, I went car booting again today. I actually had a stall today at Chelford car boot sale. Not selling anything, vintage tech or anything like that. Literally, I had some junk to clear out, and it was take it to the tipper, take it to the car boot sale. Old lawnmower I had, it still worked, but I've got a better lawnmower now. So I thought I'll get rid of my old one. There's no point keeping it as a backup, because it's just going to stay in the back of the shed for years. So that and some old bits and bats, some scarves a friend of mine asked me to see if I could sell for them. So I took all those down, and various other just household stuff that I had to get rid of. And didn't make a huge amount of money or anything. I paid for the pitch out of it, and to be honest, everything that I bought today it didn't cost me anything, because it's just come from the junk that I sold, and I still ended up with like 30 quid even off the top of that. So everything I bought today, although I paid money for it, really it didn't cost me anything, because I was just literally selling off the junk that I had that I was going to go to the tip anyway, really. So I'll reset the camera, and we've got there's a few, there wasn't really much computer stuff there, not that I was interested in. There was the odd Xbox 360 and stuff like that. They're starting to appear on like the car boot sale scene now, but don't really interest me all that much. I've got an Xbox 360 set up in the attic that I've got to do something with one day. I will do one day, I promise. I'll dig it out and see if I can actually get that working. But yeah, I've got a couple of PCE bits, but actually for nothing. They were in a free pile. So anyway, I'll get the box over here, I'll reset the camera, and we'll take a look at what we've got. And yes, I got some more radios as well, so we'll look at them at the end anyway. So back in a sec. Right, okay, that doesn't look too bad. Let's get the box in and we can have a look what I acquired today. And there we go. This is the first box, and some of the stuff in here was actually from the free pile. All the computer stuff was from the free pile. I'll go through, we'll go through the free pile stuff first. So first thing, this was in the same pile as the computer bits, but what's this? I'll put that to one side and then we can have a look at this. This is quite an interesting little thing, actually. At first, what I thought it was just a little mini guillotine. We pull it up like that, and essentially that's basically kind of what it is, but it's not really just like a standard guillotine. This. Let's see if I can, oops. And of course, I instantly catch the bottom of the tripod like I always do with my roller chair. Let me see if I can just find a scrap piece of cardboard so I can demonstrate this thing. Yeah, I've got an old chocolate box here. Let me tear a piece of cardboard off this. And yeah, let's cut a piece of cardboard off this, and then I can show you what this thing does. And this has got a little bit of age to it as well. This is not a new machine or anything. It's probably 50, 60 years old maybe. But what this is for is people used to make their own greetings cards and cut up all Christmas cards to make tags for parcels and presents and things like that. And you don't want a flat straight edge when you're doing anything like that. You want a nice pleated fancy edge on your card, and that's what this does. Put a piece of card under it like that, pull it down, it leaves us a fancy pleated edge on the side. And it just so happens I am the kind of cheapskate that takes their old Christmas cards from the year before and cuts them up to make gift tags for presents that I'm sending out. So this thing's actually useful to me. So that's a really cool thing. And yeah, actually, probably if I'd seen that on a stall and I'd figured out what it was on the stall, I'd have probably given a couple of quid for it. But yeah, that was free. Next thing we have, and they're always handy, and they're getting harder to get. We've got we've got a couple of IDE cables, and these are the older style, with the actual 44 cables in them. 40 or 44, I can't remember. Oh, 44 is 2.5 inch, 40 is IDE, isn't it? But these are the older style IDE cables, and I was actually getting short of these. So we've got two of them, one slightly longer than the other. Those are immensely useful if you like messing with 1990s era computers, even slightly later. But definitely you like messing with your 1990s era computers, those are really, really handy. But what I also got, and again it's something that I'm getting really, really short of, was a floppy cable. It was 34 pin with the twist in it. This is obviously out of one of the last kind of PCs that you actually ship with a floppy drive in them, because this is intended just for standard 3.5 inch 1.44 meg, and it just has the twist in it. But we can easily add we could add an edge connector there for a B drive and having a 5 1/4 and a 3.5 on the same cable or something like that. So again, it's just a really handy cable to have. It's the type of thing, if I saw it in a 50p box or something, I'd probably grab it, because you can't buy them new anymore. They're quite expensive on eBay. So I said it was free, so I grabbed it. Put them to one side. Next thing, this also came out of the free pile. Got an ATX power supply. Now I think this is a fairly old ATX, and it's obviously one that's out of a proprietary system. It's not your standard ATX form factor, it's much, much smaller. Let's have a look on the back of it. It just says Best Tech on it. It doesn't give you an actual make and model of computer. I was hoping I'd see like Dell or Compaq or something on the back of it, but no. But nice, useful size. I suppose that is pretty standard form factor on the front. It's just a much, much smaller diameter, and it's really, really heavy. It's not like the modern ones. This thing's got some serious heft to it. Can't actually see a date. Let me grab my glasses on and just have a quick look on there and see if we actually see a date of manufacture on it. What we can see is all the power rails it provides. It's really nice actually. We've got 5 volts at 23 amps, 3.3 volts at 10 amps, 12 volts at 12 amps. We've got another purple, that's plus 5 volts at 2 amps. That's our power goodies on grey. And our blue, we've got a minus 12 volts, which is incredibly useful at 800 milliamps. That we can use a 7905 on and produce ourselves a minus 12 volt, a minus 5 volts supply for much older computers. So this is a really nice, useful power supply to have around. We can convert this and use it to power AT boards and things like that. Really nice thing to have kicking about actually. And like I said, it was in the free pile. One thing that does slightly concern me, obviously it's had a connector cut off there. Let's hope they've isolated these wires properly. I don't know why someone would have wanted to do that. Let's just see how badly this has been done. Well, it's not good. We'll separate them out like that. I don't like the fact they were all just twisted together like that, but I suppose it wouldn't be any issue to throw some power up it. We can. I've got my jump leads here actually from my standard ATX supply. ATX supply I just leave at the end of the bench there. So let's see whether this power supply actually works. Like I said, this was on a free pile at the car boot, so I have no idea whether it is actually going to function or not. But let's look dangerously. Let's see what's going to happen if we give it some power. The light comes on. And take my little switch here. Now that might even be a power on, seeing we've got a green and a ground. But they won't. Let's try jumping it the old-fashioned way. We'll go from the green wire to a black wire. That looks fairly standard colour code for ATX as well. So we'll go on that ground there. We'll go to that green wire there. We've got our little switch just for trying it. Perhaps it needs a load. Let's give it a load, because some power supplies won't actually start up unless they actually have a load on them. Right, I'm going to have to just move you ever so slightly so we can get this drawer open. Yeah, that'll do. I've got an old hard drive here. Let's connect that up. Even if this doesn't work, there's still loads of salvageable, useful parts in this power supply. So, well, it's spun the hard drive up, but the fan's not running on the power supply. Yeah, it can. Powering that up, no problem. I wonder if we've just got a stuck fan or something. Let's find something appropriate to prod it with. Let's try switching it on again. There we go. Yeah, it's just got a duff fan. That's running. It's running that hard drive. Let's get a meter and let's see what kind of voltage it's giving out. Don't worry, that's just a scrap hard drive. What is it? An old it's like a 40 gig or something like that. I don't think it's anything I'd cry about if it dies. Right, so common there, voltage there. Let's see what we get out of this. Got I stick that there, can you see it? We'll set that to the 20 volt range, and let's see what this power supply is giving out. Put that in ground. Let's try that. 11.79, that's not too bad. It would be nice if it was a little higher, but that's not terrible. And 5.08 on the 5 volts line. I'm happy with that. Could even see what else. Let's have a look at our other nice voltages on here. Let's go for there. That's a ground. This should be our minus 12 volts. Oh no, that's a plus 5 volts. Sorry, that's a purple, not blue. That should be a 12 there. Yeah. A red, that should be a 5, I think. Yep, there it is. This should be our 12, I think. Sorry, our minus 12, a minus 11.8. I'm happy enough with that. And this should be our 3.3, 3.27. Yep, that's pretty good. Let's shut off. So excellent. We've got ourselves a nice nice usable little ATX power supply there for free. So never just walk past a free pile. If you ever see a free pile, go and have a rummage, because you might come up with a few little gems, a few little useful items for free. So yeah, that was that's basically the free pile done. Get that out of the way. We'll get that out of the way. Oops, I bashed the camera yet again. There we go, that's alright. Okay, next thing, not really of much interest to you lot, but I was glad I got it. Some high sheen non-drip gloss. This is interior or exterior use. And quite frankly, this stuff has got bloody expensive to buy in the shops. I've got to do some maintenance on the outside of my house. Basically, I've got some most of my windows, I'll say. I've got some which are UPVC, which obviously don't really need much attention. But I do still have a number of wooden windows in the property, and to stop them rotting, you need to do quite a lot of maintenance to them. And one thing you do need to do is constantly repaint them every few years. And the ones at the back of the property haven't been done for a number of years now. They used to be green, and the green paint is starting to flake and go bad. The rest of the windows are repainted white, or just a slight off-white a while back. So it's about time that the last ones joined them. So last time I was in B&Q, I was intending to get a can of gloss white paint, and I nearly had heart failure when I saw the price of it. I picked that up at the car boot sale, and it is, I don't know if you can make out the noise, but it is nice and sloshy still. You know, it hasn't gone hard in there. And that was £2, so that's better than like the 15-16 quid I was looking at it for in B&Q. So that's the first thing I picked up anyway. Next thing, now this is more into our kind of thing, is I picked up some books. Some of them are in a little bit of a poor condition, but I thought these were cool. These actually came off the same stall as that Vidor battery radio that I showed in my previous car boot pickups video. The seller was on again this week, and like I said, he had no radios on, but he has lots of boxes just full of random stuff, records, books, all sorts. He even had a load of reel-to-reel tapes and some cinefilm and stuff like that. But in one of the boxes, I come across these, and what we've got here, this is Raditron Beginner's Handbook, 3rd edition, RCA. And these are literally amalgamated wireless valve company. I think this is an American book. I don't think this would have probably been sent over here. I'm not sure how this has ended up over here. But this is an RCA book. Like I said, contents, audio frequencies, audio frequency voltage amplifiers, audio frequency power amplifiers, the relationship between power output stage and the loudspeaker, biasing, bypassing and decoupling, fidelity and distortion, negative feedback, the Miller effect, audio amplifier design, tone compensation and tone control, volume and expansion and compression, recording pickups, microphones and microphone amplifiers. You get the idea. There's some really cool reading material in these books. This one, May 1945. So absolutely awesome to find books like this. Phase splitting, explaining your grip coupling condenser, what it does, how it works, how to how to calculate your values. That's the first one. Then we have got the radio. Unfortunately, this one is in slightly poorer condition. Fortunately, my mother actually is incredibly good at bookbinding, so I will pass this over to her for her to work her magic on and do some repair work on it. But yes, we have the Radio Handbook, 13th edition. Standard of the field for practical radio men, practical engineers, practical technicians and advanced amateurs. Again, I think this is a US book. Yes, $6 at your dealer in USA. Add 10% on direct mail orders to the publisher. Oh, I was hoping I could find... this is 1951, so this is slightly later. Copyright 1951. Let's have a look at the table of contents in this one. So we've got, let me see if I can get you in a little bit closer. Can't see what I've done with my remote control. There it is now. Let's see if we can zoom you in a little bit. There we are. How's that? Is that focusing on that? Right, so what we've got here, we go Introduction to Radio, Direct Current Circuits, Fundamental Electrical Units and Relationships, Electrostatics and Capacitors, Magnetism and Electromagnetism. So this is, you're starting from really early stuff. This is brilliant. So then you've got chapter 3, alternating current circuits, alternating current, resonant circuits, transformers. Then we've got vacuum tube principles, cathode types, vacuum tube types, UHF and VHF tubes, cathode ray tubes. Now, believe it or not, this is actually this is my bedtime reading. This is, generally speaking, when I've got nothing to do and I just want to chill out and just read something. This is the type of stuff that I go to and I end up reading. Like I said, I'm absolutely blown away with these. These are awesome books. And they're in... I mean, obviously, yeah, this has seen some use. It's probably been bashing around in the bottom of a car boot box for a while. But apart from the exterior damage, like I said, which I'm sure my mother can sort that out, which she's rather good with old books. The actual pages and everything are in absolutely excellent condition. Right, so that's that one. That's the Radio Handbook. Let's get down to the final one we've got here, and this is the Radio Engineer's Handbook. This is the McGraw-Hill Book Company. Unfortunately, it's missing a sheet there, but we've got the Radio Engineer's Handbook. This is 1934, so this is the earliest one that we've got, I think. I think the other one was later 30. Yeah, the other one was 40s, weren't it? This is 1930. Oh, sorry, 1943. There we go. Radio Engineer's Handbook, copyright 1943 by the McGraw-Hill Book Company. Now we've got the purpose of the Radio Engineer's Handbook is to provide a reference book summarising the body of engineering knowledge that is the basis for radio and electronics. Again, brilliant. Section 1, tables, mathematical relations and units, circuits and elements, circuit theory, vacuum tubes and electronics, and vacuum tube amplifiers. So basically they're very, very similar subject material in all three books, but they are brilliant. I mean, I've got a library basically full of this kind of literature. Whenever I get a chance to pick anything up like this, I take that opportunity. So we've got the three books there, and all three I paid just £2 for all three books. So I was absolutely delighted with that. And speaking of radio, these are the last things from the pickup. These are the last things that I bought. Yeah, I bought some more radios. Like, I don't have enough old valve radios, but the thing is, when you see them and they're cheap enough, I've got to get them, because otherwise, generally speaking, if I don't get them and they're on a car boot sale like that and they've been there a while, they're going to end up as landfill. And even if all I use them for is parts machines, there's so many parts in there which they're not producing anymore. Yeah, you can get capacitors, you can get resistors, certain valves are still made now, but there's so many other parts, transformers, some of the valves like frequency changer valves and things that aren't used in modern amplifiers, they are no longer produced. So the only option is to get them from salvaged equipment, or at least if there's something terminally wrong with the radio, I'll never break up a radio which is in savable condition. I only break up ones which are beyond it, really. Both these sets are actually most definitely savable sets, although one is sort of what I consider a part set because of what it is. But even that one's a bit too nice to break up. Anyway, let's we'll make a start with the first one. We'll have a quick look at them first, and then we may even, if we're really brave, have a go at actually powering them up, because they don't look in terrible condition from the outside. I honestly haven't actually opened them up yet pre the video. I thought we'd do that together on the video. And this first one, this is the nice one. This is the one that I'm really quite pleased. I paid exactly the same for both radios. I did a deal with the seller. But the first one we have here, this is a nice Bakelite set. This is a Murphy 192. It is in, I have a feeling this may have been in someone's kitchen for a very long time. And I actually have a feeling this may have actually been in use. In fact, I have a feeling that both these radios probably came from the same house clearance. I have a feeling they may have actually both been in use up until whatever happened to the owner happened to the owner. But yeah, this is quite a nice set, as in it's a bit more unusual. It's got a bit of style to it. Obviously it's Bakelite, which is a thing, you know, people collect Bakelite. It has a couple of very minor blemishes to the Bakelite. There's two tiny little chips, one there and one on top, which I'm pretty certain I can do something with. I can take some Bakelite from a scrap cabinet, grind it up, add some epoxy to it and build that up, sand it down. I've done this on sets before, and just fill in them two little blemishes there, because those are the only blemishes really. The tiny little chip there, but it really is nothing at all. And this is just painted Bakelite anyway, that can all clean up and we can easily touch that in. But apart from them, there is no cracks, there is no other damage to the bakelite on it. It is really, really nice. It's a long wave, medium wave and short wave set. It probably dates, I'd say, to the very, very, very late. I've not looked it up yet. I'll do that when I actually do some videos on these sets, and you will see these being restored. Certainly this one, this is definitely set for restoration. I would say it is a very, very, very late 1940s stroke very, very early 1950s set. Just looking at the style of it, we'll know more when we actually get inside it and have a look at what the valve lineup is. Let's flip it round actually. Oops. My remote nearly went flying then. Okay, and this is an interesting one. It says AC mains receiver, not AC/DC. Now most of the smaller, you know, sets like this tend to be AC/DC. But I do know my Murphys, and I have a feeling that this isn't all what an AC set would make you think. Let me grab a screwdriver, see what we've got. We can get the back of this off with. There we go. That's loose. That's loose. Right, there we go. First thing, wow. Oh, that's cool. There is a layer of dust and fluff over absolutely everything in the set. That indicates to me this has not been messed with. This set has probably never ever seen the wrong side of a soldering iron. I'm pretty confident in that. What I do spot is, I could be wrong, that could be a mains transformer. We'll know when we actually do some... where's that going? Is that going into that transformer? Oh, it is. Oh, excellent. I do believe this is actually a proper AC set. When I first opened it up then, I was thinking, oh, that's the speaker output transformer, and I was looking at that over there and thinking, is that an auto transformer? Which is hiding off in the background there, but it's not. That's actually an IF cam or an aerial coil or something like that. That is a mains transformer, so I'm guessing the audio output transformer is hidden somewhere else, probably underneath somewhere on the actual set. That is a mains transformer there, so this is actually a proper AC set, which is really, really cool. We've got quite a strange valve lineup. They are Mazda valves, so they don't use the standard, you know, E-series designations. Like we've got a 10F9 there, we've got a 10P14 there. I can't look at any of the others at the moment, and I'm not going to disturb it now. Not for now. I just wanted a quick look inside, see what it's actually like. The next thing we will do, let's have a quick look at the plug and the mains flex. Now usually when you see a cloth covered mains flex like this, don't, whatever you do, just plug the radio straight in, because most of them they go basically very, very brittle, and the rubber inside them starts to degrade and crack up and short, and you're just going to blow a fuse or something like that. However, I've worked on quite a lot of Murphys, and I actually know that this cable is probably 100% fine and safe to use. We'll just confirm actually now whether I am correct. But generally speaking, Murphy were one of the first companies in a lot of their flexes and stuff like this to go away from rubber and start using PVC. Now they say PVC's only got a lifespan of about 25 years. That's utter rubbish. The fact is they've only ever tested it for that kind of time. I've seen PVC cable made in the 1940s, late 1930s, and it's still in perfect condition. and that's what we've got here. This isn't rubber, this is all PVC, insulated cable. In fact, that plug, apart from the fact it's got a 13 amp fuse in it, that plug is really nicely wired. The only slight thing is that the cable grip there's missing. That will need to be replaced, but that is an awesome plug. That will certainly, well, most likely be staying on the radio. We'll sort that bit of fraying out there. We'll do a wrap round that to stop that fraying off. We'll replace that with a 3 amp fuse, which it should be. Put a cable grip on there, and that plug will probably stay on this radio because it's period correct. It's a GEC plug actually. I could be really cheeky and pinch that for one of my GEC radios, or a really nice GEC TV I've got. But that's safe enough for us to apply power to the radio. Stick the back on because I don't want to damage anything. I'm just doing that so I don't lose anything. I break the back, but that's back together. Yeah, let's try it. Let's have a go with it. Sod it. We might as well. We're not just going to plug it and give it direct mains. That would be a bit silly. So what we will do, we'll get the jolly old safety lamp out. I'll unplug that there because we don't worry too much about static discharge with valves. Plug that in instead. We'll spin our set round. Let's get that in shot so you can see it. We'll plug that in there and get our test light bulbs. Let's start with a 60 watt in there, switch on there, that's in, and let's turn this on and see what happens. Or is it already on? Oh no, there we go. Ooh! You see the lamp flash on then when we first switched on? That's the initial inrush. Okay, so we've got bag capacitors. Most definitely got bag capacitors. But are we going to get anything? But yeah, oh well. It is actually receiving. I've got some stations there. You can hear it. Yeah, so on let's turn that off. So on medium wave we are actually picking some stations up there. Obviously it sounds like it's underwater because the main smoothing electrolytics have gone. I'm sure every other capacitor in there is in a pretty poor state as well, but what we've proved is The mains transformer works, the audio output transformer works, the speaker works, the output valve works, the rectifier works, which basically means that the radio is definitely a viable restoration. I mean, this is going to be a nice restoration. I mean, looking forward to getting onto this one, because this is going to make an awesome radio. Right, so that's the one I am really pleased with. And I paid, I broke the bank with these. I paid £7.50 for it. So super pleased with that. Right, let's get on to radio number 2, and I may have to reposition you on the camera because compared with that one, the other one is a little bit of a monster. I don't normally, well, unless they are cheap enough, I steer away from radios usually like this, just because you can only have so many woodies. I'm going to have to drop you down like that. I'm going to have to perhaps bring you out a little. I'm going to bring you out even further than that. Let's try that there. That's probably alright. Let's see if we can possibly zoom you out a little bit. I think we're all the way out. Yeah, we're all the way out there. Right, and let's get this monster on the workbench and have a quick look at it. Ooh, and this is heavy. Ooh. There we are. Ooh. Let me bring you up a little bit. Okay, there we go. This is a Marconi phone. It's either the same age or very slightly earlier than the previous radio. It's definitely post World War II. It's probably from 1946, 1947. Interesting with the valve lineup it uses. I did have a quick, there's a hole in the back, on the back cover, so I did have a quick spy through there. And the valve lineup is very, indicative of just after World War II. It's quite an interesting set because it's actually a preset. It's got your standard, it's a Marconi. Marconi made more of the high ends. Well, to be honest, so did Murphy. That's why I think these probably came from the same estate. Marconi and Murphy were more of the the higher end radio manufacturers of the time. We've got a volume there, tone, a standard tuner there. But what's interesting here is we've got our standard short wave, medium wave, long wave, and then we've got 3 preset stations. So we've got a preset 1, preset 2, preset 3, like that. We'll put that back onto shortwave for the moment. Let's spin it round, and we can have a quick look inside. It will do exactly like we've just done on the other one. Well, providing we don't find anything horrific inside. Like I said, it does have a bit of a bashed out bit there, so I could shine a torch and have a little bit of a sneak peek. In fact, these holes as well, you can pretty much make out what the what valves are being used by looking through those holes. Right. Let's just have a look inside. There we go. So what we're going to find, let's have a look. And what on earth is that? It's got a little ring or something. I'm not sure what that is. Right, let's have a look inside. Oh, cool. We've got the same thing. An absolutely fantastic layer of, rather stinky because it's modern air freshener, but a lovely layer of dust all over everything. This thing doesn't look like it's been touched for absolutely years. and it does use the, I can't remember what designation these valves are at the moment, but they're one of the worst valve holders ever come across. They're one of the very early all glass valves with the pins just coming straight out of the envelope there. Like I said, these came out like World War II. I think they come up just before World War II. This style of valve. These are Emitron. It's a trademark of Electric and Musical Industries Limited, and that's a U149. I think that may be the rectifier. It's a long time since I've actually worked on something that uses these. I do know they're an absolute pain for contact issues, but nevertheless, like I said, it's still a very, very, very cool old radio. Oh, it actually has the thing in here, Marconi phone. This instrument is for operation on alternating current only, 195 to 255 volts, 50 to 100 cycles. And we've got a valve placement chart and everything down there. That's really, really nice. Can't actually see a model number on it yet. Not on the back, is it? No, I will have to discover what the actual exact model number of this one is. But I can't see anything that looks really nasty and untoward in there. It all actually looks really, really good. I love the way that they put this twist spiral on all the wiring as well. That just kind of exudes excellence, really. Anyway, let's have a look in the plug and see how this has been wired. We've got a fantastic vintage. This is an Ashley plug. Have a look in here and see how this has been wired. Well, if they could, yeah, that's not going to work, is it? At least it's fused correctly. We've got, if it still works, we've got a vintage Ever Ready. We can make that out, but that's a vintage Ever Ready 3 amp fuse. That's probably from the 1950s or 60s. Hopefully that still works. Let's reconnect this. So we've got yet another one of these. We're going to, oh, this has actually got its strain relief in it. It's just for some reason they decided not to use it. So this will get this will get a 3-core mains flex fitted to it most likely, and get earthed. Because like the Murphy, they can have a earth, being that they have a double insulated mains transformer and are designed for AC operation. I'm actually surprised with that little Murphy there. I was expecting it to maybe have an auto transformer in it, with it being such a small set. But then again, it's Murphy, and Murphy did tend to do things properly. Right. So that is, Murphy and Marconi did make, decent high-end stuff, really. Let's bang the back on it like we did the other one, and we will we'll see if this one's going to do anything. I wouldn't be surprised if basically we have the same issue with it, and it's got bad smoothing capacitors. But at least we'll give it a go and see if we can get it to possibly play. Is there a hole up there for that? Did I get that screw out of there? Or did I get it out from somewhere else? Stick a screw in there. No, we'll stick a screw in there. We'll stick a screw in there. I do like to stick the back on when I know I'm not going to be doing anything with it for a while. Otherwise they tend to either get lost or something gets stuck on them and they get broken. That's already been damaged. That is repairable. That's actually quite, because it's all there. That's quite easily repairable. We can fix that. We don't have to make a new back for it. We can just repair that. Okie dokie, we've got the back on. Let's get it spun back round so you can see it, and we'll do exactly the same thing again. We've got the safety lamp. In fact, if I move that way a little bit. This is a monster, it's hard to get everything in shot. Put the safety lamp there so at least you can see it. We'll plug back in. Switch on. Oh, right, it's already on. Yeah, it's already on. And saw the lamp just glow for a second there. Have we got any dial illumination? Oh yeah, you've got, I think we've got some dial illumination there, so one of the bulbs has gone, but one's working on that side there. We're going to get any noise out of it though. Oh. Okay. Something there. That's long wave. That's medium wave. That's short. Just bear with me a second. I'll just see if I can find something we can shove up it as a bit of the... In fact, that'd do. Don't need to be much, we just need to stick something up there as an aerial, just see if we can get it to bring anything in. It just so happens I've got a little test aerial here. We can plug into it. Just to throw out a bit of wire like that. You can plug into it. See if that's going to bring us anything in. Slightly annoying. Probably picking up too much interference and stuff in the workshop, like the camera and stuff, to be honest. But there we are.
And so does playing songs in a coherent historical order.
That's amazing, actually. Not got a lot of volume. That's the volume up full. But we are running on reduced power as well because we are going through the safety lamp there. And remember, we've not changed any components in this. This is first power up. So it's always safer just to have it on the safety lamp like that, just in case something shorts.
And in this classic, taking us back to the 1960s, it's the Beach
But I
Boys.
suspect it's probably got some rather tired valves in it, to be honest. Considering we're just running on just a little wire aerial like that.
I don't know how to rebuild my destroyed house. Even I don't have anything to fix.
It's actually doing quite well.
If I compare it with 2010 flood, it's almost double. 1/3 of
Tone works really nicely.
by these floods.
There's never much up this end of the band around where I live.
I never saw such catastrophe in my
That's obviously a long wave, which, yeah, we're not really having a lot of luck with long wave, but
League. Artemis 1 is part of a mission to return humans to the moon by 2025, although the initial
basically we've got no hum there.
Sport weather with Quick Fit.
You see them? These are the preset stations. That's preset 3, preset 2, preset 1's obviously a long wave station.
Northern England.
Full sport, full subject.
It sounds really nice. This might actually not get a copyright claim if I leave it on that. But tone's nice on it. So that is full volume though. It's quite sensitive. I'll turn it off now anyway. Like I said, so that is that's radio number 2. Let's see if I can zoom you out. No, you're fully zoomed out there. That's radio number 2 that I picked up. Again, I paid a whopping bank breaking £7.50 for that one as well. The guy wanted £10 each for them, and I basically said, would you take 15 quid for the 2, and he was more than happy to take 15 quid for the 2. So yeah, like I said, if it was just this one on its own and he wanted a tenner for it, there's probably a chance I'd have walked past it, I wouldn't have bothered. But £7.50, and I got that lovely Murphy at £7.50 as well. Yeah, it was worth having. Like I said, even if it was just broke up for parts, it'd be worth having. This is to be honest, this is too nice a set to break up for parts. This will restore really, really well. I'm even sort of kind of tempted to wonder about looking to whether I could perhaps sacrifice one of them presets on the dial there and put in a Bluetooth conversion on it, which would actually make it a really useful thing to have in a modern house. You know, you could have a lovely old vintage radio like this that still picks up the old AM, you know, long wave, medium wave and short wave stations, but you just turn that dial over to like preset 3, yeah, well, the preset 1 right at the end over there, and all of a sudden it's a Bluetooth speaker that your phone connects to. It's just an idea of perhaps doing something with some of these radios which haven't got a huge amount of value to them, just to make them into a really nice functional item again. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there for now. I've rambled on for the best part of an hour. It might even be slightly over an hour now. I'm sure when I get this rendered up I can get an idea whether this camera is going to work better than the previous camera that I had, and then I can decide what I'm going to do, you know, video wise and doing camera wise for the future. And I promise I will get a computing video up as soon as I can. I've got a couple of computing videos, like kind of like half made, waiting for bits or waiting for inspiration. So I promise I'll get one of those sorted out, finished off, and uploaded for all the people that really enjoy watching me work on the computers. I know there is still quite a lot of people that like me working on the old vintage valve stuff and the old radio stuff as well, so it's trying to keep a happy balance between the two. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there for now. I hope you enjoyed this little video, so thanks for watching and goodbye.